What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Dream FI channel. A lot of us, when we're first starting our journey to financial independence, will run into this roadblock of not having established credit. I wanted to take this video today and show you how easy it is to build your credit. Unfortunately, a lot of this information is not taught in school, and it really should be. But lucky for you, I'm going to show you how. So this is the video for you. This is going to be a crash course designed for anyone who is just starting their journey and just trying to understand what credit is. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what credit is, how it works, and how you can use this for your advantage. Before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button as it really helps out this channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of any more financially related videos I'm going to post like this one. Alrighty, let's get started. I learned a lot about credit by mistake. When I was 19 years old and I just started college, I felt this need to get a credit card when I really didn't have an income. I was working part-time in a seasonal position. I walked into the bank, I applied for a credit card, and before I knew it, I had a credit card in my hand. I felt that I needed to get one as I was realizing that I needed to become an adult and I needed to do adult things. And I remember holding this card and being absolutely petrified and scared that I had done something wrong because there was no way someone like me should have gotten a credit card so easily. Because I was so scared of using it, I probably used it once or twice a month, and really it was just to pay for groceries or gas. I was so scared of carrying a balance that I literally would pay the card off the next day just to give me assurance that I was not going to get myself in debt. Most people are like 19-year-old me, where they don't really understand what credit is and how it works. And unfortunately, a lot of people will find themselves in the middle of credit at the worst time possible in the worst way possible. The worst example of this is someone walking into a used car dealership and getting financing on a vehicle in-house that they cannot afford. Other times, people will get a line of credit to pay for debt that they can't pay on their own, and by then, it's way too late for someone, and they end up in a lot of trouble. Before we can jump into how to start building your credit, I think it would be a really good idea for us to establish our definition of credit. Credit is used to measure how good someone is with money. Basically, it's like getting a report card on your spending as if you were in school. As long as you pass your exams, you do your homework, and you show up on time, you're gonna graduate and everything is gonna be awesome. It's a reflection of how often you borrow, how much you spend, and how responsible you are with your money. It's used whenever you want to buy a house, rent out an apartment, finance a vehicle, or even start a business. And without good credit, you could get turned down for housing, get denied startup money for your business, or end up having to pay more for financing your house. So by having good credit, banks and lenders can begin to trust you. Your credit score is a complicated calculation of 6 different factors: your payment history, credit utilization, the average age of the lines on your credit, the number of credit lines you have, the number of times you've inquired for credit, and the number of derogatory marks you may have. By understanding how each category impacts your credit score, you can see how the system works, and then you can use the system to improve your score. To start, your payment history is a summary of how consistent you are in paying your balance in full on time. As long as you're spending less than you make and you're using the card or your credit line on expenses that you would already pay for if you're going to pay for cash, then you're not going to run into any problems. The next is credit utilization, and this is basically to show how much credit you use on each line. Your credit limit is going to differ from line to line, and depending on how much credit you've been able to handle and your credit score, it's going to vary greatly. Credit limits range from a wide variety. They can start at $300 to $500, and some can go as high as $50,000. However, if you're maxing out your limit every month, the credit gods are going to look at you and they're going to see you as someone that is high risk. The general rule is you don't want to go above 30% of your limit. Usually you want to stay within 10%. So if you have a credit limit of $5,000, you don't want to see yourself going any more than $500 to $1,000. Now, the credit gods are also going to be looking at the average age of your credit lines. They're going to take the age of each line that you have and find the average, and that's going to determine whether you're someone that's responsible with credit. They want to see that you have experience and that you don't have any lines that have been closed. Here's my first pro tip for you. Never,
ever
close a line of credit. You want to keep that as long as possible. And the reason why is that if you keep one for a long time, it's going to increase the overall average age of each line of credit. Another category that they're going to look at is the number of lines that you have. Like a really good investment portfolio, they want to see that you're diversified across multiple different types of credit. These different types include mortgages, credit cards, personal lines of credit, and finance vehicles. The credit gods are going to frown upon you if they see that you have inquired for a multiple amount of credit lines in a short period of time. What they're going to see when they see this is they're going to interpret that as someone that is risky, that's desperate for money, and probably has some money problems that they're not showing. As a general rule, you want to wait between 6 to 12 months between inquiries and make sure that you're not going for too big. An example of this is walking into a bank after you have one credit card and then asking for a $100,000 personal line of credit when you only make $30,000. The last one is derogatory remarks, and this is the last thing you want to have on your credit score. This can be anything that is harmful to your score, including bankruptcy, foreclosure, having any debt that's sent to collections, tax liens, and even civil judgments where you owe someone money. Now, your first step to building your credit score is to smash that like button and to set up a savings and checkings account with a bank if you haven't done that already. This is incredibly easy, and anyone and everyone should do this. It shouldn't take more than an hour, and if you're under the age of 18, you need to have a parent or someone to co-sign on with you. But the biggest reason to do this is to establish a relationship with a bank. After a few months of putting money in, paying off your stuff on time, not having any withdrawal fees, and just being a genuinely good person with the bank, the next step is to walk into the bank and ask for a secured credit card. Generally, it's very difficult to get a credit card when you have no credit. Most people that apply for credit get approved because they already have credit. But if you don't have any credit, your chances are very, very slim. However, if you've got your foot in the door and you have a relationship with a bank, you can walk right in and get exactly what you want. Don't use this for relationship advice. Now, what a secured credit card is a credit card that is solely by that bank that's designed for beginners. And usually they will require a security deposit, also known as collateral. This is usually about $300 or $500, and usually they can pull this from your checkings account, and what they're going to do is hold on to this to confirm that you're going to be someone that can be trusted with credit. For example, if you decide to take your $300 credit card and run off and get some Mai Tais in Mexico and not pay off your card, they're going to use that collateral that they collected from you and pay off the debt that you owe them. But hold on, you said this was free.
This isn't free because you still have to pay for the deposit.
Well, it's a fair trade-off because the banks need to know that they can trust you. And after a few months of being a very responsible credit user, they will give you your deposit back. So you'll get your money back. So yeah, this is free. The next step is probably the most important step, and that is to never ever carry a balance and always pay in full on time. Obviously, it's a lot easier said than done. However, there is a misconception that in order to build credit, you need to carry a balance that bears interest. This is absolutely false, and whoever tells you this knows nothing about credit. The credit gods don't really care what you're buying with your credit card. It could be food, groceries, Pokemon cards. It doesn't really matter. As long as they're getting paid back, they don't care. So the theory that you need to have a balance and have interest on it is completely false. Whenever you carry a balance, that automatically hurts your credit score, and your punishment by the gods is interest. Now here's another pro tip for you. I would highly recommend setting up automatic payments on your accounts. This is incredibly easy. All you have to do is go online, log into your account, and you can set up when your payment date is due, and you can set up how much you want to pay each time. You'll get email notifications of when your due date is about a week and a half ahead of time, and you're going to have an email the day before that says that this is how much you owe, and this is what time and what day your payment's going to be made. You'll also get an email confirming whether the payment was made or not. In my mind, when I set up automatic payments, I see it almost as I'm hiring someone that is doing this all for me. And as a new credit card holder, it's more than likely you're going to forget the first few times that you even have a credit card payment due. So by setting up automatic payments, you're leveraging yourself and protecting yourself from the offset chance that you forget. The next step after a couple months of paying on time is applying for a real credit card. Now, your first credit card at your bank, your secured credit card, is not going to have any perks or benefits for using it. It's not going to have travel rewards. It's not going to have points or any cashback value. I really enjoy using the Chase Freedom Unlimited Rewards card because it offers 1.5% back on any and all purchases I make. Another one I like is the Chase Freedom Sapphire Preferred card, and that one gives 60,000 points for the first $4,000 spent within 3 months, and that's about $750 in travel. Now that you've acquired your second card, I would use this on another category. Your first one is on groceries, your second one is for rent, or it's for gas. Try to make it simple, repeat the step before by setting up automatic payments, pay in full, on time, and enjoy the perks as they come. Now the next step is simple, rinse and repeat. Continue to be responsible and pay off your card in full, on time, and keep applying for more. Yes, technically this means that you're inquiring more, but after the first year, your inquiries don't affect your credit score, and by year 2, if you have any derogatory marks because of too many inquiries, they're removed from your report. So there's a huge advantage for applying for a lot of credit cards as this begins to snowball and your credit score is going to grow exponentially. Now just remember, this is not a quick scheme. This is something that takes consistency and time. It took me about 5 years to get my credit score up to 800, only to see it drop down to 740 after I got financing for my first home and I applied for a couple credit lines. The credit guys are going to be pleased with your performance and they will continue to bless you with more advanced and more beneficial credit cards that give you more travel points, that give you more cash back and make your life that much more enjoyable. That's your step-by-step guide. It's super simple, it's super easy, and anyone can do this. I want to throw in a few more pro tips in here. The first one is to smash that like button and never pay for any services that claim that they can recover your credit score. This is a complete scam and they're just trying to get your money. It's not worth it. I just showed you how you can do it for free. Really, anyone can do this, so don't pay them at all. You're an adult. You can do it yourself. My last tip is to always check your credit score. I would do this about 1 to 3 times a week.
But I thought checking your credit score is going to hurt your score. Don't do it. Don't look at it. No.
There's ways to look at your credit score where it's not going to hurt your score at all. You could easily go on Credit Karma and check it. I prefer to use Mint. It's an app that I have on my phone. I use the free version and it connects all of my accounts and all of my credit lines and I can check my score. It even has a budget where you can track your expenses, and every week I get notifications that show me how well I did on my spending and things that I did that might have hurt my score and how I can improve. So my recommendation is download the Mint app and you can check your credit score about once to every 3 weeks. The reason why is so you can track your progress and be able to see what you're doing that's helping your score or things that you're doing that's actually hurting your score. Plus 2, it's super motivating to see your score increase over time. In my opinion, after 760 on your credit score, you have pleased the gods and you have reached the pinnacle of credit score success. If you're applying for a mortgage for your house, a 760 score compared to an 800 score is going to be the same. They're not going to dock you on interest or anything like that just because your score is 800 compared to 760. And anything above 800 is just bragging rights. I know some people where it took over 30 years for them to get an 850 score. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, go ahead and let me know, and please leave a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and hit that notification bell for the next time I post another video. You can find my website and the link in the description below. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and thanks again for watching, you guys. Until next time, keep living the dream.